is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are so.
Good evening, Braves fans. I'm Jerome Jurinovich, and welcome to the Friday Night Showdown presented by Kaiser Permanente as the Braves open up the final home series of 2017, hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. Tom Glavine, Joe Simpson, Chip Carey get the action started right now.
It's our final home Friday at SunTrust Park, and the fighting Phillies are in town. You know how tough they've played the Braves, but Dansby Swanson and the Bravos hope to be up to the challenge. We wrap up our final weekend of the regular season here in Atlanta with the Philadelphia Phillies. Hi again, friends. Great to be back at the ballpark. Hopefully tonight, Atlanta can solve the Phillies. They're 4-12 against them so far this year. And fellas, while the Braves and Phils are struggling to get to the top of the division, as far as having terrific farm systems, the Braves and Phillies might be near the top. It starts with Ozzie Albies for the Braves. Tommy, he's been a revelation for Atlanta.
Yeah, both teams got a lot of good young players. Certainly the Braves have a lot of good young players that have been up and down throughout the course of the season, led by Ozzie Albies. It's been a phenomenal season for Ozzie. Since August the 10th, 45 hits, first in the National League. Consider he started the year, his call-up in the first 14 games, hitting $170. In 33 games since then, he's hit .325. So he's really turned things around, been a spark plug. And, Joe, the Phillies have a guy on their side that's been pretty darn hot, too.
Yeah, there's going to be a pile of prospects in this game tonight. And maybe the guy at the top of the list is the guy who's getting all the headlines, and that's Rhys Hoskins. Since he was called up on August 10th, he's hit 18 home runs. That's first in the National League. And he's doing a whole lot more than that. He's walking a lot. He's seeing almost 5 pitches per at bat. So he's a patient guy, too. And the Phillies are very excited about the prospects of what he might bring to their ball club next year.
If I had those numbers, I'd clap too, just like Rhys Hoskins was a few moments ago here in Atlanta. Perfect night for baseball. Game 1. Sean Newcomb takes the mound for Atlanta. He's facing the Phillies for the 3rd time this year. We'll see what happens with first pitch coming right up. Atlanta. It's actually the first autumn evening here in Atlanta, Georgia. Doesn't feel like autumn. It's been a hot, muggy day, surprisingly. Hopefully that's an omen for the Atlanta offense. They take on Pete Maccannon's Philadelphia Phillies, who come to town, winners of 8 of their last 12 and 3 of 4 against the first place Los Angeles Dodgers. Biggest difference for them is the middle of their lineup, fellas. We touched on Rhys Hoskins, who's been a great revelation for them. He's playing first base. Not a lot of speed at the top of the order, and some guys that have done some damage to the Braves staff. That's the challenge tonight for left-hander Sean Newcomb who goes to the mound in game 1.
Making his 18th start of the year, 3-8 with a 4.32 ERA. 0-1 against the Phillies this year in 3 starts with a good 2.45 ERA. Last 9 starts pretty good. The low ERA, the 1-loss record could be a little bit better, but certainly has pitched well enough to win more games than that in his last 9. So hopefully that'll continue tonight.
And his 4 keys to pitching success. One of the issues that really kind of drains him as the game goes along is a lot of pitches. Tonight, maybe he can be a little more efficient, have some quicker innings. And one of the keys to what he has been doing recently, Tom, to me, has been that good fastball. He's been locating it better.
Well, you locate your fastball, pitch off your fastball, you'll be more efficient.
So Sean continues his warm-up tosses. Chuck Hernandez looks on as his prize pupil gets set to face the Phillies for the 3rd time this year. First time Sean has faced a single opponent 3 times in a major league season. So should be a whole lot of familiarity, I would think, from Newcomb for the Phillies and the Phillies towards Sean Newcomb. He's facing a hot club. The Phillies have won 11 of 20 games this month and riding high, looking forward to what they think will be a promising 2018 season now that they have some more clarity as to who's going to be hitting in the middle of their lineup. But for them, it really starts at the top for Pete McCannon. Hernandez and Galvis are 2 hitters that have given the Braves fits all year long. These 2 men have combined for 39 hits against the Braves this year. So once the music stops, we can get things started and get the weekend underway. Cesar Hernandez at .291 with 8 homers and 31 driven in, and he takes ball 1. We're underway. 76 degrees, but very muggy tonight. And we started 2 minutes late at 7:37. 23 minutes before 8 o'clock. 2 balls, no strikes for Cesar Hernandez, the Phillies leader in runs, walks, and stolen bases. Good idea to keep this guy under control. 3 straight have missed badly for Hernandez, who's in the catbird seat to start the game. Walks have been a problem for Newcomb, as you know, 43 of them in his last 13 outings. That's almost 6 walks per 9 innings.
Tough to be efficient that way.
These 2 guys at the top of their order have been more problematic for the Braves than any 2 guys at the top of the order in the National League East. And that includes Trey Turner and whomever for the Nationals.
Hernandez hitting .313 against Atlanta. Galvis hitting .290. And now a 3-2 pitch is fouled away. Phillies are 62 and 91 on the year. 2 games under 500 since the All-Star break. So they are building momentum for their final week's worth of play. And it's a leadoff walk. So Sean will go to the stretch immediately and have to face Freddie Galvis. Galvis with 20 infield hits, 6 bunt hits. 18 for 62 is he at the plate against the Braves staff. And 2 switch hitters at the top of the order trying to spark things for the Phillies again. Hernandez has stolen 14 bases. He's got a good lead. And Newcomb's first is right there for a called strike.
Phillies have 7 switch hitters on their roster here in September.
Back to the mound. Newcomb fires to second for 1 and gets the double play. 2 for the price of 1 will take care of a leadoff walk. And he'll go back to the windup with Nick Williams, the hitter.
Remember the first inning of his first game, comebacker, double play ball, and he threw it into center field. Took a little more time this time and made sure he made a good throw to Ozzie.
So the bases are empty for Nick Williams. A .285 hitter, 11 homers and 50 knocked in. Williams out of Galveston, Texas. 23 years old. One of the big haul of prospects the Phillies got when they traded Cole Hamels to the Rangers. He's a Philly that has had trouble against the Braves. Only 5 hits and 31 at bats. And that one over his head. Somehow he ducked out of the way. That'll wake you up.
It's almost a strike coming back to Kurt.
2 guys ducked.
Yep.
Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire. A swing and a miss. 2-2.
Phillies pitching by and large has been about the same all year long, but since the All-Star break, the Phillies are averaging a run more per game. Their team batting average is up 19 points. Their on-base percentage up 24 points. Market improvement. Williams and the guy on deck, Hoskins, who had a lot to do with that. For Pete McCannon.
Two balls, 2 strikes, bases empty in the first. And a ground ball out to Ozzie, who plays it with the backhand and throws to first. Newcomb gets Williams. 15 first inning pitches, and the Braves are coming up against Ben Lively next. Here come the Braves at 68 and 93. Good to have Ender Inciarte back at the top of the order. 191 hits for the Braves leadoff man. Ozzie Albies second. Freeman, Markakis, Suzuki, Camargo another start at third. Lane Adams in left. Swanson eighth. Sean Newcomb ninth. And Ben Lively is the Phillies starter tonight.
Making his 8th start of the year. He's 3-6 on the year. Pretty good numbers against the National League East, though, in 5 starts. 2-3 with a 2.8 ERA. So he's pitched well against the East. Hasn't had as many wins as he probably could have, and hopefully that continues tonight.
Braves have seen Lively before. They saw him on June 8th in what was his 2nd major league start, and he pitched a very impressive game that evening. 9 hits, 3 runs in 7 innings. And threw just 95 pitches against Atlanta that game. And it was his major league debut, 1 start prior against the Giants, that was so impressive. As this one's hammered toward right field, long run. That ball is off the base of the wall. Ender on his way to second with a leadoff double, his 24th of the year.
That's the way to get the game started in a good way. Corks one into right center. He led off last night with a triple. Lively came over from the Reds in a deal from Marlon Byrd a couple of years ago. He was originally in the Reds organization as a 4th-round draft pick back in 2013.
And when he won his major league debut on June the 3rd, it snapped an amazing streak by the Phillies staff. They did not have a win by a starting pitcher from April 27th of this year until June 3rd of this year.
He's also racked up a complete game, but it was in a losing effort. But he went 8 innings against Washington on the 10th of September.
So a ball and a strike for Ozzie Albies. He's 5 for 20 against the Phillies. Batting .283 on the year. Ozzie had a 3-hit game against the Nationals yesterday. And he does his job and more. A base hit to right brings Ender around third. He's going to score. 1-0 Atlanta on back-to-back first-inning hits. That might be a textbook example of when you play the game right, good things happen.
Yeah, get him on, and you're trying to get him over or get him in, and good approach, hit the ball to the right side, and like you said, found his way through the hole and not only got him over, scored him.
Another replay from last night. He did the same thing last night to Washington. Ozzie was right up on top of the plate too, inviting them to pitch him in. He got something he could hit to the right side.
So Freddie Freeman tries to dump one down the left field line. That's going to drop in fair territory. Freddie's on his way to second. He slides in ahead of the throw. 3 straight Atlanta hits. And they're at second and third with nobody out.
Left that up a little bit for Freddie. He'll certainly take that.
Yeah, fastball up over the plate against Ender. Turned on it for a double. That one up over the plate on Freddie and went the other way for a double.
Phillies might have taken a look at that tag play at second. For an instant looked like Freddie came off the bag for just a split second, but apparently not enough evidence for the Phillies to challenge the safe call at second. So how about this start? 3 straight hits for the Braves. And Nick Markakis steps in. He's worn out the Phillies this year. He's got 21 hits against him and 11 RBIs.
Lively's pitched real well on the road too. 3.42 ERA, but 5 straight quality starts on the road. So this is not the kind of start he's been having. Tops out at about 93, and he's got a good curveball, slider and a change. Lives in Gulf Breeze, Florida. 6'4", 190.
One ball, 1 strike. And Markakis with a base hit to center. That scores 1. Here comes Freddie around third. He's going to score without a throw. And the Braves are ambushing Lively here in the first. It's 3-0.
Ben hasn't even gotten his bearings yet. But the Braves have.
Yeah, another ball up over the plate.
So 71 RBIs for Markakis now. 13 of those 71 have come against the Phillies. 4 straight hits, and now Kurt Suzuki the batter. Kurt at 267, 44 runs batted in, a career high 16 homers. And he's buzzed inside, 1-0 the count. Alfaro with the stop. Ball 2. A double by Ender, a single by Albies. A double by Freeman, a single by Markakis. That means Kurt's due to hit a two-base hit of his own. Three and 0.
Alfaro, the catcher, is another one of their prospects that they're high on. Might be the successor to Cameron Rupp behind the plate.
Kurt made him throw a strike.
And even that was a high strike.
Yeah, he's going to have to make some kind of adjustment, get the ball down in the zone a little bit more consistently.
He's thrown 13 pitches, 4 of them have been hit hard. That's called a strike, full count. Suzuki takes a long walk.
Again, the first inning hasn't been a problem for him until tonight.
Markakis with the lead at first. There he goes. And a high fly ball belted left field. That ball is way out of here.
See, Kurt really wasn't all that upset about not walking. He wanted to swing the bat.
Edge to his career high homer total. That's number 17.
And his third this year off the Phillies. What a year.
And for Lively, what an awful start. He's thrown 15 pitches. He's given up 5 hits and 5 runs and has not recorded an out yet. And that youngster with a great catch on the Kurt Suzuki home run ball. Most runs scored by the Braves in the first inning since they scored 6 against Toronto on May the 17th. So Lively's job, limit the damage somehow and try to find a way, I guess, Tommy, to work 4 or 5 innings and hope his offense can catch up.
Yeah, you got to obviously hit the reset button here. Nobody on. Start over. Keep it here. Try to give your offense a chance to go to work.
Another shot toward left. Altair on the run. Diving try. That is a fair ball. And it's another hit. Camargo's aboard. That's 6 straight hits. Great try by Altair, but he came up empty.
It was hard to see, too, on the track to figure out where the ball was with relation to the track. Nice call by David Rackley, the third base umpire. Good effort by Altair. I like Aaron Altair a lot. they can keep him healthy and keep him on the field, he's going to be quite a player.
So the first 6 Braves have hits tonight. And Lane Adams playing left field, trying to make it 7 out of 7. There's a strike to Adams. It's 0-1.
He hasn't thrown many curveballs. Good idea to start.
And another 0-2. RBI hits by Albies, Markakis, and Kurt Suzuki. A shot hit towards short. Galvis backhand to Hernandez. What a turn, and in time. Those guys are magicians up the middle against the Braves. Galvis and Hernandez with an incredible double play to get one of the fastest guys on the team, Lane Adams, for the first 2 outs of the inning.
Yeah, Galvis seems to do something every night the Braves play him that makes you appreciate it. What a turn.
Cesar, the second baseman, was really turning and throwing without looking when he got that ball.
So Lively gets a double play, and Dansby Swanson the hitter. That's upstairs, even count. One ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Well, how about that first inning for Atlanta? They erupt for 5 runs. The first 6 men get hits. Ender led off with a double. Ozzie with a base hit to right. Freddie Freeman a double. Markakis a 2-run single. Then Kurt Suzuki the big blow. A 2-run homer. And after 1, Atlanta's jumped in front of the Titans. It's 5-zip. On the year, caps a 5-run first for the Braves, And that's something a pitcher loves to see. A big offensive inning in the first to help him settle in.
Nothing better than going out there for your second inning with a 5-run lead, and that has not been the norm for Sean. First 2 starts, he's had 3 runs of support against the Phillies. So the 5 tonight after 1 inning is certainly a welcome thing. See if he can have a shutdown inning and get his offense back to work.
Room to have some fun, except you got to face this guy to come back to start the second inning.
You see his numbers. You have to remember Rhys Hoskins came up on August 10th.
These are major league ranks since August 10th. Tied for 3rd in homers, 1st in the other categories. What a debut.
And Joe, I think you'd agree there isn't really much surprise about the power.
No.
It's the overall production, because while he hit a lot of home runs in the minor leagues, he also swung and missed a lot.
He did. And he's been walking here, taking a lot of pitches. He's averaging close to 5 pitches per at bat, which is a high number by comparison to the rest of the players in the big leagues. 31 walks, 36 strikeouts.
He's probably thinking this league's real easy.
Yeah, he probably thought this just stop over.
Got to get called up to the next league.
3 balls and a strike. Full count. Interesting, Newcomb walked the first man he saw tonight, last night, with R.A. Dickey on the mound, a knuckleballer. And the Braves staff, national staff, not a single base on balls in the game. Only the 9th such game in the big leagues this year. And a nice comeback from a 3-1 count. Hoskins strikes out. And Newcomb has his first one of those. 1 away.
Sean had an outing his last time out, which was a W against the Mets. Pitched into the 6th inning, but only walked 1 guy. When he doesn't walk a bunch of guys, he is spot on, and had 8 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings.
The Wedding March song greets Aaron Altair as he bats here in the 2nd.
Good one.
19 homers for this kid, and a ground ball again to 2nd. Ozzie got to it quickly, and a perfect throw, 2 outs. Well, here's the guy that's been another thorn in our side. Odubel Herrera riding a 13-game hitting streak against Atlanta this year. It's 16 straight games with a hit against the Braves dating back to last season. So enough of that. Herrera 23 for 53 at the plate against the Braves this year, with 5 homers, 13 RBIs, and a .434 average.
Yeah, maybe try something different.
Yeah, like tell him what's coming. Maybe that'll
Yeah.
get in his head, because nothing else has.
Remember the last series against Washington? We were talking about how cool it was that Jason Worth stayed in the box when he was hitting. This is not Jason Worth.
Oh, that's right. That's right. One of the great scenes, though, came against Washington when Herrera did his delay of game tactic. He had his hand up to the umpire asking for time. The umpire had none of it. Max Scherzer just threw a pitch right down the middle, and I don't think Herrera ever saw it. The umpire raised his right hand. Strike 3. Inning is over, and Scherzer walked off. Two balls and a strike. Newcomb has to wait about 10-11 seconds before Herrera is ready, and he's going to fly out to left, and that's the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Newcomb. Shut down frame. He'll lead off the 2nd, and he'll lead off with a 5-0 lead.
We head to the bottom of the second inning, and we do have an update for the Braves rotation for you. Mike Foltynewicz had missed his last start with the cut finger. Lucas Sims took over that spot on Wednesday, and he threw a good ball game, good enough to earn himself another start. So the Braves have a doubleheader versus the Mets on Monday, and Brian Snitker told us today he expects Lucas Sims and Max Fried to start both of those games. He says Foltynewicz is still not ready. He is doing some baseball activities and throwing, but they're not sure when he'll be back. And Chip, Joe, and Tom, he couldn't even tell us if he would make another start this season. So we got to hope that Folty can turn it around soon and he can get him one more start before the season ends.
So if he's not going to pitch, Kelsey, first of all, thank you. Then the last opportunity would be in that 4-game series down in Miami.
Mike told me a couple of days ago it was healing, but it's still tender. That skin's still tender, but he's very hopeful of making a start. He even said to me, I'm hoping to make at least one, if not 2 starts, but looks like one will be the target now.
So Sean Newcomb leads off for Atlanta in the second, 5-0 after an inning and a half. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gentle breeze blowing from left to right toward the chop house. As that one's off the netting foul, and we'll do it again. First day of autumn 2017, officially at 4:02 Eastern time today.
As it was about 92.
With humidity to match.
Summer doesn't want to let go just yet.
And Newcomb takes a walk. And Lively is spraying the ball all over the place. And when he's not missing out of the zone, he's leaving it center cut and getting hammered.
Well, that was his first walk. Ender's 192 hits, tied for 10th in terms of most hits in a single season. Rafael Furcal is next on the list at 194. Rafi did it in 2003.
And Ender's trying to chase down that man, Charlie Blackmon, again, who's got 201 of them for Colorado. The Rockies play in San Diego a little later tonight. They are hearing a couple of teams nipping at their heels in that wild card race.
Boy, what a game in Milwaukee last night.
One of the best of the year.
Oh, my goodness.
Cubs were down to their last strike in the 9th inning against Jeremy Jeffress. And Javier Baez hit a split finger pitch up the middle for a game tying RBI hit. And then Chris Bryant with a 2-run homer gave the Cubs the margin of victory last night to extend their lead over the Brewers to 4.5 games in the Central. Milwaukee a game behind the Rockies for the second wild card. The Cardinals only a game and a half back.
It was just such a huge game for Milwaukee, though. They could have tied Colorado in the wild card. They would cut the deficit in the division. And how painful to be one strike away, 1 out away.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker on 2 fronts. That's what makes it even worse.
Two balls, 1 strike. Hoskins playing behind Newcomb at first, and Ender pops this one up. Galvis long run. In comes Altair and left, and Aaron will make the play. There's the first out. Well, the Cubs and Brewers are back at it tonight. Milwaukee's winning 2-0 in game 2 of that series. John Lackey is pitching for the Cubs. He's 11-11 on the year. Ground ball foul at first. Cardinals are in Pittsburgh tonight. Michael Wacha and Ivan Nova are the pitchers. St. Louis up 2-0. Nova struggling, 2-8 since the All-Star break for the Pirates, who've had a rough September. Did he go? He did not. Even count. Reds are beating Boston tonight 4-1 at the Great American Ballpark. Yankees try to catch Boston in the AL East. They're only 3 games back.
Angels have been trying like crazy to catch Minnesota, and their schedule is so unfriendly. They just got swept at home by Cleveland, went on the road, and tonight they've got Jason Verlander in Houston.
Yeah, you're trying to get in the playoffs and you got to face those 2 teams back to back. Yikes. Verlander, by the way, 3-0 and 0.86 ERA since the trade from the Tigers.
How about that?
It's a good pickup.
First home start tonight.
Two balls, 2 strikes for Ozzie Albies. And that one cut on and missed and held on to by Alfaro. So that's the second strikeout for Lively. 2 outs in the inning. Freddie Freeman, the batter, he looped a double toward left and later scored in the first.
That's the second out he's gotten with the curveball this inning. I wonder what the reluctance was to use it in the first when they were hitting that high fastball.
Yeah, like you say, the way they were hitting the fastball, why not try it?
Inside to Freddie. 1 ball, no strikes. Since 2011, Freddie Freeman has 130 hits against the Phillies. That's second overall among all major league hitters. Only Daniel Murphy has more with 146. And down and in, 3 balls, no strikes. Freddie's hit safely in 14 of his last 18 games. That's come since the wet newspaper commentary about his wrist. And he takes 4 pitches off the mark for the second walk of the inning. And Nick Markakis a chance to do more damage. He drove in 2 runs back in the opening inning. Braves don't walk a lot. They don't strike out a lot. Well, they've got 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, but more importantly, 5 runs. And the right guy at the right time for Atlanta here, trying to extend the lead. Line drive, right center field, a base hit. Here comes Newcomb around third. The throw will come towards second. It's a 3 RBI night for Markakis.
First big league run scored for Sean Newcomb. When you're hitting cleanup and you bat twice, once in the first, once in the second, and you have 2 singles and 3 RBIs, that's good work.
Not a bad start to your night.
Well, I love that close-up shot from center field when you see Nick hit. You see how big his eyes got when he recognized that pitch and began his swing. That was on a tee for him. Watch. Bang.
He hit right down on it too. I think this guy's got a chance. All these prospects.
Kurt Suzuki a home run tonight. Atlanta 6-0 in the second inning. Lively's last start lasted just 3 innings against Oakland. 2 runs, 2 hits. And he was knocked out of the game, not by the A's, but by Mother Nature. He had to sit through an hour and 46-minute rain delay and couldn't come back. It's been raining here in Atlanta, but not raindrops, but base hits. The Braves are just pummeling him in the first 2 innings. And already 50 pitches. High pop. And Williams in right field will measure it up, and he's going to make the play. And he was ready to throw to the plate because he forgot there were 2 outs in the inning. Atlanta gets a run thanks to a leadoff walk. It's 6-0 as we go to the 3rd. MLB.tv every night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.tv for all the details. Braves are chopping away against the Phillies. Good start tonight. 6-0 after 2. Question for you, Mr. Glavine. Newcomb got his first walk. He only has 1 major league hit. He had to spend a lot of time on the bases for the first time as a major league pitcher. How does he prepare for this 3rd inning as a result of having to run the bases?
Well, I think the most difficult one is when you end the inning on base. He at least scored, got a chance to sit down, get a drink, gather himself. But at his age, shouldn't be a problem running around the bases and going back out there.
Athletic conditioning.
Exactly.
So here's Jorge Alfaro leading off the 3rd for the Phillies. 283 average, 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. Alfaro also part of that Cole Hamels deal with Texas. And he takes down an in, ball 1. Alfaro, like Julio Teheran, is from Colombia. Jorge didn't get that one. A ball and a strike. He's just 24 years old. Counted his 6 games last year with the Phillies.
30 strikeouts and 92 at bats on this trip to the big leagues. But he has walked twice. One of those was intentional.
The 2-1 from Newcomb is grounded towards short. Dansby's got it, throws on the run, and Freeman stretches out to make the play. There's the first out. Newcomb's getting some ground balls tonight. That's good to see. And we will take our first look at the Phillies' #1 prospect. This is J.P. Crawford. He's been been playing shortstop most of the time in the minor leagues, but they moved him around the infield here at the big league level. Third, short, and second, as they try to figure out how to proceed with those positions down the road for the Phillies.
I think Michael Franco is a pretty good third baseman, but Phillies people are telling me this guy has been phenomenal at third base, even though he's a shortstop, and his size may necessitate a move over there. 6'2", 180, just 22 years old, out of Long Beach, California.
He's a cousin of Carl Crawford. Remember Carl with the
Sure.
Rays and Dodgers? JP's dad was a football player at Iowa State and in the Canadian Football League. He was the 16th overall pick in 2013. The 2-2 pitch is fouled away. The way it was explained to me, Joe, is that with Franco, with Crawford, with Galvis, it's kind of a three-man rotation that's going on with those positions for the Phillies. Galvis wants to try to play in every game, and they're trying to get Crawford acclimated. This one's popped towards short. Dansby says he's got it, and he does. They also have another kid, Scott Kingery, who was one of their minor league players of the year, that's supposed to be the modern version of Chase Utley, who's also in middle infielder. So the Phillies are going to have some interesting decisions to make, not only with their young players, but with Galvis and Hernandez, who are veteran guys.
Nice to have options in a rebuilding mode. And nice to have guys like Galvis and Hernandez who are entrenched in the middle infield in case the other guys aren't ready.
Well, if you got somebody in your system that you think might start pushing Galvis, he must be pretty good.
Yes, he must be pretty good.
And Lively 0-2, now 0-3 as Newcomb has another perfect inning, his second strikeout. No trouble with that youngster after he ran the bases. Johan Camargo leads off for the Braves, 6-0 after 2.5. The Phillies and Braves presented by Kaiser Permanente. Beautiful night. Nice crowd gathered too at SunTrust Park for the first of our final 3 weekend games in the inaugural season here at the Braves' new home. Weekend can't start any better than it has tonight. It's 6-0 with Johan Camargo leading off. He's got a hit already, and he's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
Highest average among major league rookies, 305, and he's a qualifier with 200 plate appearances. I was just looking at that today and kind of surprised at how many Johan has. He's got 223 at bats, not just plate appearances.
Well, Johan had the 6th consecutive hit by the Braves offense to start the game. As this one's hit toward Galvis, he'll charge, he'll fire on the run, and he'll make the play. Jared Burleson and Jonathan Kerber, our ace stats man, tell us the first time the Braves have opened a game with 6 straight hits since opening day, April 26, 1995, against the Giants.
To open the season.
To open the season. 6 hits in a row in what turned out to be a pretty good year.
Yeah, that was a good year.
You'll have to find out who was pitching for the Giants that day.
I think it was Old Hoss Radbourne. As Lane Adams is the hitter. Highlight of the night for the Phillies was the double play they turned on Lane in the opening inning. It was unbelievably slick. Galvis with a backhand flip to Hernandez, who blindly threw to first, and right on the money to double up Lane. And Adams went around that time, and that's strikeout number 3. 2 outs. Bases empty for Dansby. Dansby's strikeout ended the Braves' first. Lively trying to settle in and give the Phillies some much needed innings. He's down 6-0, however. And that's up and in. Ball 2. Lively's out of the University of Central Florida in Orlando. As Joe said, a former Red traded for Marlon Byrd. Another excellent deal made by Ruben Amaro, who in his final days as the Phillies general manager really did right by what is now his former organization. He really restocked their system with some excellent deals of highly sought after players.
Is Ruben still the first base coach for the Red Sox?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah. I hadn't heard otherwise.
There's a strike. It's 3-2. And Dansby cuts and misses and flips the bat away in frustration. He strikes out for a second time, and Lively has his first perfect inning. We're off to the 4th. You can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports South and Braves baseball with you wherever you go. Presented by Nissan. Joe, Tom, and Chip with you from the ballpark. Kelsey Wingert reporting by the Braves dugout tonight. It's 6-0 Atlanta after 3. Sean Newcomb trying to win his 4th game. Got 5 first-inning runs, scored the 6th run himself in the 2nd. And he has set down 8 straight hitters after a leadoff walk to start his night from the mound. And the man that walked was Cesar Hernandez, who goes to work for the Phillies. Last 2 games for Newcomb. He's given up 9 earned runs in 20 innings. As this one's hit high in the air towards center. Ender sprinting. He's not going to get it. That ball found another gear and it ricochets off the center field fence. It's a leadoff double for Cesar Hernandez. Another hit for Hernandez against the Braves, his 22nd this year. And that's how the 4th inning starts.
I just miss being a home run.
We're going to change up a little bit. You're right, Chip. That ball just kind of got out there and just took off.
You know, that's kind of a funny reaction there by Cesar. Either A, he thought he hit it out of the ballpark and then realized he didn't and took off running. Or, like so many players, I don't want to hit it to that guy.
Yeah.
Ender's going to track that down. And when he realized it was over his head, then he took off.
So here's Galvis. He hit into a double play. Comebacker to Newcomb. And upstairs. Galvis, the #1 National League shortstop in fielding percentage. He has another year left on his contract.
Plays every day, and he's only made 7 errors at shortstop.
So again, an interesting question for the Phillies. If they think Crawford could handle shortstop, what kind of value would Freddie Galvis bring in return?
A lot.
You bet. I'm with Tom.
Newcomb got the call. Galvis disagrees, but his vote doesn't count. 1-2. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes. For me, Galvis is a textbook example of how you don't need a defensive metric to know the guy's value. You watch him play, even in our case, 16, 19 times. You see how good a player he is and how many runs he saves with his great athleticism up the middle. And then you factor in 60+ RBIs, 13 stolen bases.
Ideal #2 hitter. Does a good job of hitting the ball to the right side when Hernandez is on in front of him or getting him over.
And a line drive into center field, gets down for a hit. And the Phillies will have runners at the corners. Zender got to it quickly and threw a strike to the plate. Down 6 runs. Phillies aren't going to chance scoring Hernandez on that play. They're going to play for a big inning. And now the Phillies have back-to-back hits to start the 4th.
High fastball, just kind of fought it off.
Nick Williams bounced out to second to end the 1st. 26 extra base hits for this guy, 49 RBIs since the All-Star break.
What'd the Phillies get, like 20 players for Cole Hamels? Is that about right?
Seems like half their roster.
Yeah. I'll give you the list here. Yeah, you don't have to go far in the media guide. Just pick a letter on a surname and you've got somebody that
yeah, it's
that
like
they acquired.
23 of their 40-man roster.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, which is behind Williams after Newcomb threw one over his head earlier.
Now that's amazing that Nick just stood there and didn't even dodge.
It's almost like one of those ones where it's like, I don't know where to go, so
yeah,
let me just stand here.
You almost hit him in the head with a curveball earlier, remember?
Right, yeah. And a line drive to left chases Adams back. Lane's going to make the catch. Hernandez is going to tag and score, and that's an RBI, and the Phillies are on the board. It's a 6-1 game. Matt Harrison, Jorge Alfaro, Alec Asher, Jake Thompson, and Nick Williams for Cole Hamels, Jake Diekman, and cash considerations on July 31st, 2015. And perhaps a reason why Hamels brought such a hefty return was in his last start with the Phillies. You might recall he threw a no-hitter against the Cubs. So you talk about maximizing your value.
Yeah, that didn't hurt.
That might have been one of those deals where the deal wasn't exactly what it turned out to be. It was probably something less than that, and then when the Rangers said, okay, we'll take him, yeah, the price of corn just went up.
Right. It's inside for Rhys Hoskins, even count.
Yeah, that probably went from the organization saying, wow, that's just awesome no-hitter, how exciting. Man, what do you think we can get for him now?
Yeah, right. Hoskins 18 homers, 45 driven in. Out of the way.
Hoskins has got one of those swings where his bat stays in the zone for a very long time. He has the bat flat across his shoulder, parallel to the ground. He straightens it up a little bit, but it stays flat through the zone for his whole swing.
First major league player to get to 40 career RBIs in 40 or fewer games since Albert Pujols did that in 2001. Took Albert 36 games to get to 40 RBIs with the Cardinals. This one's popped up into shallow right and playable for Nick, who's got it, and Hoskins is the second out. This kid's got 136 RBIs between the minor leagues and major leagues, and he's second in home runs with 47 at AAA in the major leagues. Only Giancarlo Stanton has hit more with 56, and he's upset because he missed a pitch he thought he could drive out of the park there. So 2 outs for Aaron Altair. The Phillies have their first run. Altair 0 for 1 with a ground out and didn't get that.
Just watching Hoskins there, he's agitated at himself. But these days, by the time that hitter takes his helmet off, takes all of his elbow guards off, both batting gloves, by the time he goes and sits by a teammate, they can relax. That, you know, okay, I think he's over it now.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes for Altair, the Phillies left fielder tonight. And he just struck out looking on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Newcomb has been very impressive. He struck out 3. He's given up only 1 run, and he enjoys a 5-run lead.
The bottom of the 4th inning, and it's time for our Toyota Tweet of the Week. This week's question is, what is your favorite feature or memory from SunTrust Park's inaugural season? So tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag STP Year 1, and your answer could be read during our Braves Live post-game show. Now, one of the most popular areas in this ballpark is Hope and Will Sandlot. I'm out here in the arcade game area. All of these games will be free to fans on Sunday, but I got some work to do.
Well, get after it, Kelsey. Let's go.
You pull the trigger.
Anthony's strike for Newcomb, who leads off the Atlanta 4th. Oh, we haven't seen much of the arcade game area here at SunTrust Park this year. It's proven to be a very popular place for the kids. The zip line and all out beyond the grandstand in right center field. And back to the mound. Lively will retire Sean. There's the first out of the inning. He's set down 5 straight all of a sudden. "6-1 game. Won't know till afterwards if Lively was a little too strong after pitching just a couple of innings with the rain issues he faced in his previous start.
He was their minor league pitcher of the year last year. I think they call it the Paul Owens Award. And what a year between AA and AAA. He was 18-5 with a 2.69 ERA.
Well, it's interesting to me when you look at the Phillies and Braves. Again, as we said in our opening comments, the Braves and Phillies aren't at the top of the division. It's certainly hoped for both clubs they'll be moving toward the upper echelons of the East sooner rather than later. But we talk a lot about parallel paths here in Atlanta. I think the Phillies and Braves are on almost identical parallel paths with the overhauls of their organizations, their minor leagues, and the young talent they've brought to the big leagues this year and what they hope to bring in years to come. A lot of good young talent in both spots.
You know, we know that the Braves have been ranked as the #1 farm system in baseball. I don't know where the Phillies rank, but it's got to be top 5, doesn't it?
Got to be good.
Ground ball up the middle. Galvis fires and not in time. Ender legs out an infield hit. Galvis threw off stride, and that might be what saved Ender, who's got his second hit of the night and his 193rd.
Pretty special play.
And the Phillies are going to take a look at this one. They think they got Inciarte by a quarter step at first, so the Phillies are going to challenge the safe call by Larry Vanover at first base.
I think they're right. I never would have guessed that.
Me either.
No, me either.
Ender's hoping there's not enough evidence, but when they answer that quickly, that means they have an easy overturn. So Inciarte robbed again by Galvis. Another great play for the second out of the inning.
What a play.
He turns in 3 or 4 of those a series against Atlanta. He's got 2 of them already in game 1.
He's said 3 or 4 a night.
Yeah, he's one of those people you pay to come watch play. If you don't know much about him, you're missing out on this guy.
Ozzie Albies with a hit, a run, and a strikeout. Pushed off the plate. It's called a strike. 0-2.
See if he doubles up on that. That ball was not all the way in, and Ozzie backed off.
He did, and Albies somehow fouled it away. Tell you what, Lively had 50 pitches And he wasn't out of the second inning. He's up to 75 now, so much better control and command and results. As that one's hammered down the right field line and out of play.
Like he came back with a slider in that time and sped up his bat. They're bound and determined to stay in on him.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Ozzie went 3 for 4 last night. Already off to a good start tonight. 1 for 2. That makes him 4 for his last 6 after an 0 for 14 run. That 0 for 14 run came after he completed a 13-game hitting streak.
Yeah, he needed that game last night. Get him going again.
And they lived inside, and Ozzie just wore one. That's smarts. And Albies very slowly making his way to first base after Lively kept pitching him in, and then further in.
That's rib cage. Ugh.
So now home plate umpires out talking to Lively, Alfonso Marquez. I don't know if Marquez, well, now Pete McCannon's out there. If there's any shenanigans going on here, but why would Marquez be out there talking to Lively? All he was doing was pitching inside.
Honestly, I think he just went out there to buy Ozzie some time, you know, and I think that was, you know, Pete McCannon went out there like, hey, what the heck's going on? And you know, he kind of quickly brushed him off like, hey, nothing's going on. So that's my guess. Otherwise, if there was any shenanigans in terms of pitching in, I think Pete would have had a lot more to say.
Yeah, or a warning or something like that, which obviously wasn't made. And no visit by McCannon. You saw Marquez wave that off. A little pop into shallow right and into the shift. Cesar Hernandez is there to make the play. And that ends the inning. We go to the 5th. It's still all Atlanta. 6-1 after 4. 6-1 Braves have the lead after 4 innings. We've got fireworks after the final out. Plenty of fireworks in the first inning that saw the Braves score 5 times on 6 straight hits to get things started against Ben Lively.
This is Bobby Cox statue giveaway too tonight, isn't it?
That it is. Got the big concert tomorrow night. Fits in the Tantrums after game 2 of the series, and then the final home game on Sunday afternoon before the Braves head to the road for the final time for the final 8 games of regular season play in New York and then down in Miami. Odubel Herrera leads off. He flied out to left his first time up. And that missed up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jared looked it up for me. The Phillies had, as rated by MLB.com, the 7th best farm system.
How do they figure out those ratings? We talk all the time about how inexact the science of scouting is. I mean, I guess there has to be some sort of metric that ranks team 1 ahead of team 7.
Yeah, there's, you know, certainly the 20/80 scale, I guess, that they use with Baseball America. But I mean, my question would be, if you, does it necessarily reflect that your minor league system is doing poorly as opposed to the year before, if a lot of your prospects are in the big leagues? You know, so I mean, I wonder if it's always an exact metric, so to speak.
1 ball, 2 strikes from Newcomb, and a late swing by Herrera. Newcomb has been pinpointing his fastballs tonight.
He wanted no part of that at bat, Herrera. He's thinking about what happened in the bottom half of the inning when Albies got hit. First pitch, he was kind of running out of there like he was going to bunt. He was concerned about a payback, and his heart may have been in it, but his hip pockets were not.
So Newcomb with his 4th strikeout gets the leadoff man in the 5th, and he's ahead of Jorge Alfaro with strike 1. I don't know if there's a way to quantify this or not, but to me, guys, Sean Newcomb looks like a different pitcher since Luis Gohara pitched.
I think there's a lot to that, Chip.
Gohara lost his first big league outing, then came back and pitched great in his second game. And it seems to me that Newcomb is relying on his fastball a lot more. And like Gohara, he has an excellent fastball. Just showed one to Herrera a moment ago. That one smoked toward third. Nice play by Johan. Look at his arm. Alfaro squared one up, but he hit it right at Camargo for the second out.
Hot corner. Got in front of it, didn't play it off to the side to kind of olay it.
I love watching that guy throw.
Me too.
That is some kind of a strong arm.
I think Sean is just pitching with more confidence. And maybe he got some of that from Gohara.
Perhaps, you know, watch him, see what he's doing to be successful, maybe copy some of that, but also maybe a little healthy competition. Saying, hey, wait a minute, I want my spot next year, or a spot next year.
No balls, 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Well, again, the knock, if you will, on Newcomb has always been, can he throw enough good strikes to stay in the game long enough to win? He has done that in spades tonight. 69 pitches, 45 strikes, and only 1 walk. Remember, he had walked almost 6 men per 9 innings in his previous 13 games entering tonight, and he is just dotting his fastball with great effect. 3 up, 3 down again, 5 strikeouts through 5, and a 5-run lead. Trust 5-run Atlanta lead with a 5-run first inning. Nick Markakis is 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs.
What a contrast there.
That is Luke and Lily May. Luke is her great grandson.
Wow.
Who's 5 years old.
That is great.
I wonder why she waited so long.
Nobody would take her.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Bless her heart. She sat at home and watched us for all these years.
Well, that's probably why. She likes listening to us so much that she stayed home.
Well, I hope she's having fun tonight. Hopefully this game will be worth the wait. As Lively misses inside to Markakis. Only the one thing better than a 2-hit game, and that's a 3-hit game. See if Nick can start another rally here in the 5th. Suzuki and Camargo are coming up next. Nick got jammed and popped it up. Who wants it? It's the catcher Alfaro who makes the play. J.P. Crawford got there a little late, but Alfaro handles without trouble. There's the first out of the inning. So Kurt Suzuki with a 2-run homer digs in next. Lively doing a heck of a job after a very rough start. And he's due up first in the 6th inning. My guess is this will be his last inning. But we'll have to wait and see. Cardinals and Pirates still tied 2-2 in the 6th inning at PNC Park. Mets and Nationals tied 6-6 in the 6th. In New York, Milwaukee holds a 3-2 lead over the Cubs after 4 innings in Milwaukee tonight.
Nats got to be a little bleary-eyed, don't they?
Yeah, you know, it was a late night for them. After our night game here last night, even with a 2-hour and 18-minute game.
Yeah, something like that.
Long ride to the airport, then land in New York. Long ride into Manhattan from JFK, I'm guessing. Edwin Jackson and Robert Gesellman, the starters in that one. Popped up toward Hoskins at first, over near the Braves dugout, and he doesn't have a play. Washington still playing for something. They're trying to catch the Dodgers for the best record in the National League. They start play tonight 4.5 games behind LA for that mark. And you know the Giants would love to help everybody except Los Angeles. And they're at Dodger Stadium later on tonight. Samardzija and Hill. Dodgers magic number to win the West is at 1. Another pop up. This one might stay in play. Hoskins over near the railing on the warning track is there, and it does for out number 2. Joe, you mentioned about the Dodgers, and we know all about their troubles in late August and September. They're not playing nearly as well now as they were. But you remember you talked about Corey Seager. When he hurt his elbow, they've gone 6-18 since he came out of the starting lineup.
Huge part of their lineup, huge part of their defense up the middle. And if he can't throw, I mean, they are truly nursing him through games. And once they clinch, they may shut him down for a week.
Which then might lead to a whole other set of problems. Will he be sharp when the games mean so much more in postseason play?
I don't know about that, but they'll be confident that he'll be in uniform and playing.
And he'll be a threat, that's for sure. Bryce Harper is supposed to take live batting practice tomorrow in New York. If he comes out of that okay, then the Washington Nationals will decide how quickly to ramp him up to game activity. Another very bright young star that the game needs in postseason play.
Did he do that a second day here?
He did.
He did.
It was way earlier than when we got here.
Yeah, it was like at 2 o'clock or something. But he had also started hitting under the stadium in the cage in Washington before they came here. He was running in Washington, doing some polls. So he's in pretty good physical shape.
Line drive into right field. Williams plays it on a hop. Our pal FP Santangelo texted me before our game tonight and said Bryce Harper was hitting balls over the Shea Bridge during his simulated game today. So looks like the power's there. Looks like all that's working. See how the knee holds up for him. As Lane Adams comes up with a man aboard and 2 outs.
Well, you hope he's healthy. You want to see the best players in the lineup in the postseason.
And as it stands now, the Nationals will play the Cubs in the first round of the division series. The Dodgers would play the winner of the wild card. Right now would be an Arizona-Colorado play-in game. But Milwaukee and the Cardinals are only a game and a half behind the Rockies for that second wild card.
So that play-in game is Tuesday?
Yes.
So Greinke's pitching tonight, right? So he won't get another start, I don't think, before that.
Well, it's Tuesday, a week.
Oh, so yeah,
a week from Tuesday. Yeah.
So he would get one more. Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes. Saw an interesting article on a way to maybe spice up the wild card game because it is such a crapshoot, 1 versus 2. We know how important it is to win your division, so you don't have to play that 1-game playoff. In the Korean Baseball League, you play a doubleheader for the wild card game with a very important twist. Fly ball to center, and Adubel Herrera is there, and he's got it. And we're going to have to tell you what that twist is when we go to the 6th inning. 6-1. Atlanta has the lead over the Phillies.
Phillies as we head to the 6th here in this final series at SunTrust Park in the 2017 season. Time for an Xfinity game break. Of course, the Brewers, one of those teams that have something to play for. They're hosting the Cubs, and they're taking it to him tonight. Stephen Vogt, his 11th of the season. John Lackey not having a good night because a little bit later on in the inning, Brett Phillips steps to the plate, and he sends one deep as well, his 3rd. The Cubs have played it a pair, though. They have pulled to within 1. Milwaukee on top 3-2. They are in the bottom of the 4th. And I am on the edge of my seat, Chip, waiting to hear the end of this story about the wild card doubleheader.
All right, Jerome, I'm going to make you wait a second first, though, as Cameron Perkins is going to pinch hit for the Phillies. Lively gave up 6 runs in his 5 innings. Yeah, the wild card doubleheader, really simple. You have team 1, team 2. First wild card, second wild card. You schedule a doubleheader. If the top wild card team wins game 1, they advance. If the second wild card wins the first game of the doubleheader, they have to win a second game to beat the top wild card. So in other words, the number 1 wild card team is rewarded for having that better record instead of just a 1-game playoff. And the interesting twist is you have a doubleheader. Think of the managerial strategy and second guessing that would take place as to how you work your pitching staff, who's available in game 1, who's available in game 2. You know,
I like it.
A lot of great stuff to think about.
Me too.
Something to freshen it up a bit. Saw that online today and thought it'd be a cool idea to try. Cameron Perkins, Hernandez, and Galvis are facing Sean Newcomb, who's heading into the 6th inning tonight. That's good to see. Just 74 pitches for him. And this one's hit past Camargo into left field for a single.
Second time his changeup's been hit hard. This one appeared to be out over the plate.
Sean Newcomb has pitched more than 6 innings exactly once as a major league pitcher. That came in his debut against the Mets. He went 6 1/3 innings. See if he can better that tonight as Hernandez takes downstairs. Ball 1. A walk and a double for Cesar, the Phillies second baseman, who added to his team leading run total with the 4th inning tally. Hernandez now has scored 81 of the Phillies' 652 runs. Big problem for the Phillies. They've been outscored by 100 runs this year. Now Sean's starting to get the ball up a bit. 2-0 the count. Dangerous top of the order, dangerous middle of the order here in a 6-1 game in a lively park. And ball 4, a single and a base on balls brings up Galvis.
Two walks, both to Hernandez. One leading off the game and one here in the 6th.
So Chuck Hernandez will get the bullpen in action here.
And a 5-run lead, that's exactly what you don't want to see out of your starting pitcher. You want to make them hit the ball, not walk guys and create trouble.
Freddie Galvis with a hit last time up. He also hit into a double play in the 1st. And a nice stop by Suzuki.
Must have taken a bite out of Kurt.
He and Sean have worked very well in tandem tonight. Dangerous part of the lineup. Galvis, Williams, Hoskins, and Altair lurking. Newcomb beginning his 3rd trip through the Phillies batting order here in the 6th. And got a strike. Driven toward right. Markakis into the corner to the track. That ball carries to within a couple of feet of the wall. Tagging and moving up to third is Perkins. They're at the corners with one out. Williams has the lone Phillies RBI. It came on a sac fly, his 21st RBI in September.
Still just a ground ball away from getting out of it, though. This guy's tough to double up. Good speed, although as we saw his first time up, seemed to be a little bit lame when he crossed the bag at first base after being thrown out. He's hit into 7 double plays, 281 at bats.
The lefties do not seem to be enjoying these at bats tonight.
No, they're not. They're not fully committed. Doesn't seem. Which is good. Good strikeout here, and then you're really on your way to getting out of the inning.
No balls, 1 strike, instead to first. Line drive over short. That's down for a run scoring hit. So it's now a 6-2 game. Williams with a 2 RBI night. Perkins scores after his leadoff pinch hit single. And now Hoskins a chance to do serious damage for the Phillies. 2 in, 2 on, and 1 out.
Looked bad on a breaking ball, but he teed off on the fastball.
And that's going to be all for Newcomb. Ryan Snitker's not going to let him pitch any further. 84 pitches tonight. And Hoskins will face a right-hander, I believe, coming out of the Atlanta pen. So Sean goes 5 1/3 innings, a couple of runs. Charged to him, just 4 hits. It's a bullpen game for Atlanta. Miss it on Sunday when we wrap up the series, the home portion of the schedule, and the homestand with these fighting Phillies.
I think it ought to be on pay-per-view.
It's a great idea.
It might be the best matchup on pay-per-view we've had in some time in any sport.
That's very true. Daniel Winkler's on. He's been stellar for the Braves. He'll face Rhys Hoskins. Runners first and second, 1 out. And Dan misses upstairs, ball 1.
Dan was out there 3 days ago against Washington, an inning and 2/3. No hits or runs. He walked a batter, struck out 1. He's retired 8 of the 11 first batters he's retired and that he's faced. But a tough customer here.
Altair and Herrera next on the lineup card. 2 balls, no strikes. And he had a mammoth cut and fouled it back. Ben Lively hoping the Phillies can rally from what's now a 4-run deficit. He gave up 6 runs in 5 innings before being lifted for a pinch hitter here in the 6th. They've got the right guy at the right time in Rhys Hoskins, their first baseman. Also played some left field for Philadelphia. Now the 2-1. The corner called. Pretty pitch.
Good one. A lot better shape for Dan 2-2 than 3-1 to this guy.
Again driven toward right, but playable for Markakis. There's the catch. Hernandez will tag and head to third. They're at the corners, but with 2 outs. So twice Hoskins has popped the ball up to right field, and no trouble for Markakis. Rhys now 0 for 3 in the game. So Altair the batter. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second and struck out. Newcomb in line to win the game if the Braves can protect a 6-2 lead. He went 5 1/3 innings. Down the right field line, slicing, and no play. R.A. Dickey had a magnificent night last night. 8 innings of 4-hit 2-run ball. During his 10th win, Newcomb's in line to win his 4th. The pitch down the left field line and out of play. 0-2.
Yeah, I like this guy. He's had so many different nagging injuries that kept him out of the lineup at different times of the year, but he's a player.
A 9th round pick by the Phillies in 2009. He first got to the show in 2014. Played in just 2 games. 1-2 pitch. Out away. Last year almost a lost season for Aaron. He hit just 197 because he tore a tendon in his left wrist diving for a ball in spring training. Didn't play in the big leagues until last July 28th. Made his debut against the Braves, and what a night. 3 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Overall started 54 games last season. Now he's fighting to be a mainstay for them, on the cusp of 20 home runs with 19.
Yeah, 21 doubles, 4 triples, and he's only played in 98 games this year.
The 1-2 pitch.
Got good power to right field and right center. The Braves are shading him that way in the outfield.
Swing and a miss. Didn't get a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Winkler challenged him and won the battle. Phillies settle for 1 run in the 6th. It's 6-2. Here at SunTrust Park, it is time for our SunTrust Confidence play of our Game 1. Let's take a look at the hits leaders among rookies in the National League this year.
4 of them are in the game tonight. We talked about it at the top of our broadcast about the showcase of rookie players in this series. Ozzie and Nick Williams tied at the top. Hoskins with all those extra base hits, including the homers, and Dansby Swanson in there too. Quite a collection of players on the field tonight.
Big win for the Freeze in his match race.
Sunday. It's going down.
I think he said, Paul, I'm ready for you.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So, Birdie, the gauntlet's been laid down.
I hope you caught that chicken.
Zach Curtis claimed off waivers from Seattle on September 11th. He's done good work. He's the 30th pitcher used by the Phillies this year, which ties a franchise record set 2 years ago. Makes you wonder why Seattle let this guy go. Appeared in just 2 big league games with the Mariners, 41 games at AA Arkansas. In 144 minor league games, a 2.44 ERA, 229 strikeouts, and 162 innings. And Seattle just said, see ya.
Yeah, that's strange. Lefty throws pretty hard.
Yeah, they got him from Arizona along with Gene Segura in that deal. Former 6th round pick.
Bounced foul by Dansby. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
5'9", 190. Out of Panama City. But actually finished high school in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Ground ball toward short. And Gonzalez takes care of Dansby for the first out. Cubs have taken a 4-3 lead over Milwaukee. That game heads to the home 5th at Miller Park. Here it's 6-2 Atlanta. Adonis Garcia is going to bat for Winkler, who did excellent work retiring the 2 men he was assigned. Adonis got a start the other night against Washington. Got 3 at bats. His at bats have been few and far between since coming back from his ring finger surgery that he had to deal with in June. And he's got a base hit. So Adonis is aboard to start things off for Atlanta with 1 out. Ender the hitter. He's doubled and scored in 3 trips.
Like a cutter that went right to the barrel of his bat. Good swing.
Ender had a second hit for the blink of an eye in the 4th inning. He hit a ground ball to short that Galvis caught, threw off stride to first, and Ender was originally called safe on that play. The Phillies challenged the call at first, and it was overturned. So instead of a 2 for 3 night, Ender's 1 for 3. That's off Alfaro's mask. 0-2. Minnesota's winning tonight, beating the Tigers 6-3. Twins hanging in there in the American League wild card race. Minnesota with a 2.5 game lead. If things stand the way they are in that race, they'll have to face the Yankees in New York again. First, the 0-2 pitch. Yankee Stadium, old and new, has been a graveyard for the Minnesota Twins. They're something like 30-80 their last 110 games in the Bronx.
That's right.
But you never know. The Yankees might still catch the Red Sox. They're only 3 behind them. That's lifted toward left. Altair is there. He tries to deke Adonis, who went halfway and scampers back to first. 2 outs.
Seems like the Yankees have been 3 games or 4 games behind the Red Sox since the first day.
Both teams have won 3 straight games. Boston's got 88 wins. The Yankees have 85, and they don't play each other again the rest of the way. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
I wonder if the Yankees will try to bring back Bucky Dent for the final week. Just put him in the dugout for inspirational reasons and show that video in New York somehow, some way. 1 ball, no strikes. And pulled foul. I mentioned that Minnesota game. One other big story today is another good baseball man will not be back as a manager. That's Brad Ausmus, who was notified today he will not be returning as the Detroit Tigers manager. Detroit's had a rough year, 62-91. Yes, they've traded away a lot of their big players, big money players. And they have tried for so many years, guys, to get over the hump. Heartbreakingly, they got swept by the Braves here last year. That cost them a chance to get in postseason play. And their beloved owner, Mr. Mike Ilitch, who passed away, never got to see the Tigers play for the World Series in recent years. So they're going to rebuild and retool in Motor City, and with a new manager next year. 1-2 count is bounced, foul at third.
Why not just make a change? If they're not going to bring him back, why stay the last 10 days?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why you make that announcement with 10 days to go.
Yeah.
Just wait and make it at the end of the year, or like you say, let him go.
Let him go and let the bench coach take over for 10 days.
One ball, 2 strikes for Ozzie. And another bouncer foul. And the Tigers have an interesting dilemma too. If they're going to rebuild, can they afford Miguel Cabrera and his enormous contract? I think he signed through the 2025 season at big money. Yes, he's an attraction. Yes, he's a star, but If they're going to finish in last place with him, they can certainly finish in last place without him. And then the other part is, can anybody take on that contract? And if so, who will? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good battle here with Ozzie Albies and Zach Curtis.
I'm not sure that was going to pick off anyone.
I think they're wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I think exactly what they're thinking.
What the heck was that?
Now another 1-2 pitch. And missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maybe he forgot he stepped off and thought he had to throw over.
He's spraying the ball all over the place all of a sudden. Because he's gotten a little frustrated after all these foul balls in this sequence. Adonis leads and takes off, and another fly ball foul.
Ozzie is seeing the ball real well from him. A low 3/4 delivery from Curtis, and being able to switch around right-handed, he's picking it up pretty well.
He's about to see his 10th pitch. And a swing and a miss will retire the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the 7th. 6-2, Braves in command. Hour after 6. Welcome to the deeper coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Talked a lot tonight about the exciting division races in the AL East and the National League Central. Always fun to take a look at not only at the scoreboard now, but the schedule ahead for the Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs, and Brewers.
And it would appear that the Yankees have a little tougher schedule in the upper box, while Chicago and Milwaukee play the same teams. Just take turns.
A.J. Minter. No walks, 17 strikeouts. This young man had a dazzling inning last time out against the Nationals. Another left-handed Philly hitter is in for, shall we say, a treat.
An uncomfortable at
Uh-huh. Minter worked the 6th inning of the Nationals' 7-3 victory. That was the Gio Gonzalez game. Went an inning and struck out 2. Worth and Murphy. And he just broke Herrera's bat and got a ground ball to short. That's how the 7th starts. 1 away.
Yeah, and he looked good doing it against the Nationals the other night.
Well, maybe we're seeing here in the final weeks of the regular season for a Braves club that is going to really try to concentrate on fixing this pitching staff, either by getting that bell cow, Joe, as you've talked about, at the top of the rotation, or a couple of those guys. Certainly the bullpen, which has had its share of problems this year. But Winkler and Minter, I think it's safe to say, the last 2 weeks have really opened some eyes, and I would think that if they can continue this, they would get a great opportunity to start the year in the Atlanta bullpen in regular season next year.
I agree. Leg up.
No balls, 1 strike.
Boy. Hard. It may be a cutter, may be listed as a cutter, but it is very sliderish.
Yeah, anything with a little wrinkle when you're trying to protect against 96.
Yeah.
Tough to stay on it.
Way outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jorge Alfaro. Two runs, 4 hits for the Phillies, 6 runs, 9 hits for Atlanta. The Braves got 5 in the first and haven't looked back since. And the pitch is hammered into the left field corner. That's down for the Phillies catcher. Alfaro on his way to second, and he'll stand there with 1 out in the inning.
He got that cutter that wasn't buried down and in.
Stayed up over the plate a little bit.
So J.P. Crawford's going to stand in with a runner at second and 1 out. New set of signs, I'm sure, from Kurt Suzuki here, with Crawford 0-for-2 in his first action against the Braves tonight. Crawford's popped out and struck out. And that's popped out of play. Got a text tonight, Joe, from a longtime respected scout who has a good idea of what's going on in Detroit. And the question you had, why would Brad Ausmus manage the rest of the way? Apparently the Tigers have a great deal of affection and respect for Brad Ausmus and how he was asked to replace the irreplaceable Jim Leland in Detroit as the manager there. And they were very sensitive to whatever Brad Ausmus's wishes were as to how to handle these final 9-10 games. And apparently it's Ausmus's wish to go ahead and manage out the rest of the year, finish with his team, and then move on. 1 ball, 1 strike for J.P. Crawford. And that's popped back toward us and well below 1-2.
Well, that's different. I mean, if he was given the option, then there's no questioning it.
So it'll be interesting to see the rebuild route the Tigers take. And whether the players they got back for the likes of J.D. Martinez and Justin Verlander pan out for them. Did he go? Yes, he did. Crawford couldn't check his swing, and Minter strikes him out. 2 outs. 9th spot in the order coming up. Looks like Michael Franco is going to grab a bat.
Nice spot for that cutter. What's happened to the Tigers puts a spotlight on what Tom and the rest of his teammates are able to do for 14 straight years, and how absolutely impossible that seems looking back in today's world. Tigers riding high in their division for several years and couldn't sustain it.
Franco pops the first one up and into the SunTrust seats. Strike 1.
You know, Tommy, one of the things that always struck me about this, and I remember Pete talking about this quite a bit, that there was no stagnation on your roster. There was pretty good turnover every year.
Every year. You know, I think the perception sometimes was, you know, how hard is it for Bobby to manage this team? You know, it's the same guys all the time. No, it wasn't. There was turnover every year from spring training to spring training, and a lot of young guys too.
Sure.
I mean, Bobby wasn't afraid. Every year it seemed like we had a rookie somewhere that was playing every day, you know, and he certainly wasn't afraid of running rookies out in the rotation or in the bullpen and giving them meaningful innings if they earned it.
Franco hitting .230 with 20 homers.
That 220 might be a high water mark for him this year too. And a tough season for him.
The Braves have contributed to that. They've held him to 11 hits in 16 games. Franco's getting hot over his last 13. 7 RBIs, 13 hits. And he's going to bounce one towards short. Minter takes care of the Phillies with a double in the mix as we head to the stretch. All Atlanta 6-2 your score.
Of the 7th inning, and Braves fans, as a thank you for celebrating the inaugural season with us at SunTrust Park, join us for Fan Appreciation Week today through Sunday with something special happening each day, and also take advantage of discounted tickets all week long with seats priced as low as $5 for each game. Visit Braves.com/fan appreciation for all the details. So today the Bobby Cox replica statue was handed out. There'll also be the Friday night fireworks. Tomorrow they're going to have activities outside of the field for Pink Out the Park night, and they also are going to have the post-game concert with Fitz and the Tantrums. And Sunday, free games over at Hope and Will's Sandlot, and all of the fans get to run the bases. So Chip, Joe, and Tom, I'll meet you at home plate.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much.
Yeah, and the gum.
You gotta get Louise to stop throwing gum at you. That's not nice.
Never fails.
And Luis is going to pitch the final home game for the Braves this year on Sunday, as this is Yaxel Rios. Braves have seen him before. He pitched 3 innings against Atlanta on August 30th in game 1 of the doubleheader up in Philadelphia. This guy was an Eastern League midseason All-Star. And he's got Freddie Freeman leading off, and popped out a play foul. If Rios pitches multiple innings of relief and the lineup card gets down to the 9th spot, we might have a Rios versus Rio matchup.
I'd like that.
Let's see Rio Ruiz come on.
Turn some of his 94 to 96 mile an hour gas around.
He didn't get that.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah, it was 2-2. Freddie was late there. So Freeman's retired on strikes to start the home 7th, 1 away. Nick Markakis got his night off to a great start. 2 hits, 3 RBIs in the first 2 innings.
What did I read tonight about Nick and his doubles? Got his 37th double last night. First 2 years with the team, he had 38. No Braves player in the modern era since 1900 has had 37 doubles in 3 straight years. 37 or more.
Player, you said, right?
Yeah.
What about broadcaster?
Only Hank Aaron 5 times.
Wow.
Chipper 4 had more 37 double seasons over their entire career. But no one but Nick did it 3 times in a row.
Popped up left side. Crawford to the warning track. Makes the play at third. There's the second out. We know all about the talk about what the Braves may try to do next year as far as their outfield situation is concerned. Ronald Acuna, the minor league player of the year by a wide margin, had a fantastic season for the Braves organization at every level at which he played. You know he's going to come to spring training with a chance to win a job. As things stand now, you have Markakis under contract, you have Inciarte under contract, and you have Matt Kemp under contract. 3 veteran players, and right now no place for Acuna to play. So that's a crowded situation that John Coppolella will have to solve in the offseason as well, not just the pitching. One ball, no strikes for Suzuki, who bounces one out of play. The other cool thing about those types of situations, we all fret, we joke about it all the time when you try to figure out who's going to be the 25th guy on your roster coming out of spring training. 3 days later, it's going to change. Somebody tweaks something or gets hurt, or there's a procedural move that has to be made. The point being that those kinds of situations oftentimes take care of themselves, as Suzuki hammers another one deep toward left field. Altair back. That one is going to bounce into the seats for another homer. Wow. That ball found another gear. Homers for Suzuki.
Absolutely amazing. What was that, a split finger?
Hanging fork ball or split finger, yeah, something.
His 5th career multi-homer game, 3 times this year with Atlanta. And Atlanta extends the lead to 7-2.
For all you young players, now he was fooled on this, but watch his hands, okay? Watch his hands here. They stayed back even though he was out on his front foot a little bit. That left him some swing and generated some bat speed because he didn't take his hands with him. That was a great swing on what was a mistake pitch from Rios, but supposed to be an off speed. I'll say again, what a year.
Yeah, he's had a tremendous year. It's been fun to watch.
So 7 runs on 10 hits for the Braves tonight. That one into the seats foul. And Johan Camargo down to his last strike. What did that hit?
Somebody's foot.
I think it hit the umpire's iron-toed shoe.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if it hit Marquez, he didn't even flinch. Let's see. And a swing and a miss retires the side. Multi-homer game for Kurt Suzuki. He and Markakis with 3 RBI nights. And the Braves take a 7-2 advantage to the 8th inning. Fans, if you haven't heard by now, you should know the big showdown is happening this Sunday. Paul Thunderbird versus the Freeze. Let's check in and see how Paul is doing in his pre-race prep.
What's up, man? How are you, buddy?
Good to see you. Hey.
Good to see you.
So I hear you got a big race coming up with the Freeze, and you know, we want to do a little something special for you to give you the best edge you can get. So we got you a pair of shoes to train in and a pair of spikes to run in. How about it?
Well, well, well. Looks like somebody got a little faster today, and their chances of beating the Freeze just improved.
What'd you think?
Oh, whoa, those are serious.
Him so fast around that warning track. I don't care what Jeff Francoeur says. Paul Bird is going to win Sunday. I feel like Joe Namath.
Yeah?
I guarantee it.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, you mentioned pay-per-view. He probably should have gotten some course. He should get some kind of clause to get a percentage of attendance this weekend, because I got to believe this place is going to be packed for that race.
You know it will.
Has to be. Not for Fan Appreciation Weekend necessarily, but to see Paul. I mean, he is doing everything he needs to do to get ready for this race.
Now, Paul's a former pitcher, right?
Yep.
We know how excited the Braves bullpen gets when the match race takes place with the Freeze. They're out with the bullpen gate open, waving the towels and all that stuff. Do you think they would have any means or way of helping Paul along as he gets to the home stretch right by the Braves bullpen?
No, but you know who Paul's best friend is? Phil the Bucket. One of his best friends.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Yeah. Sam Freeman has also opened eyes for the Braves, not just in September, but all year long. He has had a career year. A guy that's been a couple of different organizations, had a good spring going until a real bad outing and probably cost him a chance to break camp with the big league team. Didn't pout, went back to the minor leagues, worked it out, got back, and has turned into not just an extra guy, but he's been charged with getting big outs in late inning situations for the Braves.
He's pitching meaningful innings, you know, ahead in the ball game most times. I mean, something clearly has clicked for him, even if it's just something as simple as confidence. Something has clicked for him this year, and he's had a great year.
Throws strikes.
Yep.
Throws hard.
Two balls, two strikes for Cesar Hernandez.
Tom, do you think with respect to Jose Ramirez, who had a rough outing a couple of nights ago, he's had a couple of rough outings in September, and he was entrusted with a lot of responsibility with leads, primarily in the 8th inning of games this year, and did a fabulous job. Is it possible for him to not necessarily be physically worn out? He's still throwing hard, but maybe a little mentally fatigued after all that.
Yeah, no question. I mean, look, it's, you know, you get to this level and there's an adjustment across the board. I mean, there's an adjustment to the length of the season. There's an adjustment, obviously, to the pressure of being in the big league. So, yeah, I mean, you know, over the course of time, when you're pitching in meaningful, stressful innings like that and you haven't done it before, yeah, I mean, whether it's physical fatigue, mental fatigue, or both, absolutely it's a real thing.
You know, I was watching him kind of grind through that outing the other night where he gave up 3 runs without getting an out, as I recall. And I don't know, the look on his face is that he was trying his hardest and really physically trying to force the ball through the zone as hard as he could possibly throw it. And it occurred to me, you know what, he might be a little fried, mentally fried.
Yeah.
But he's still just a kid too.
No, he is. I mean, very inexperienced in the big picture and certainly inexperienced in his role.
And not nearly as experienced as Sam Freeman.
Right.
Who's back on the beam with that swing and a miss by Freddie Galvis. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He is.
That's downstairs for the Phillies shortstop Freddie Galvis. 2 balls and a strike. And you don't want to give these guys any hope. Not with Williams, Hoskins, Altair, and Herrera lurking. This is a much deeper Phillies lineup with a lot of power. Ender sprinting will get there, and Galvis will be the first out.
How about these numbers for Sam Freeman? His last 21 games, that's 18 innings coming into this outing, an 0.50 ERA and just a 138 batting average against him. 1 run allowed in those 18 innings. That's finishing with a flourish.
Yes, it is.
Nick Williams, a couple of RBIs tonight. One with a sacrifice fly, one with a single back in the 6th. Braves are not afraid to throw left-handed pitchers at these Phillies, are they? Newcomb, Minter, and Freeman all left-handed. Winkler the only righty, and he faced 2 batters. Retired them both. Got Hoskins and Altair in the 6th. Braves got 5 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Haven't looked back. A ground ball sneaks through, and that's a hit for Williams. So 2 are on for the Phillies with 1 out. Here comes Hoskins again. Hoskins 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 2 flyouts to right field. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Braves trying to get to 69 wins, which would be one more than their total last year. After tonight, 10 more games on the 2017 schedule. 2 with the Phillies, 4 with the Mets, 4 with the Marlins. And then we'll contemplate spring training and then rejoin you here at SunTrust Park on March 29th. And it will be the Phillies here to open up the 2018 season. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Other news for Atlanta, 2018 apparently will be the final year for Atlanta at Walt Disney World for spring training. The Braves came to terms with their new spring training site at Northport on the west coast of Florida. Braves are hopeful of having that done in time for spring training 2019.
They started that, haven't they? Did they break ground?
They were supposed to.
Supposed to, right?
I think the storm.
Yeah.
Slowed that down.
It'll be a much more convenient spring locale with so many more teams within 20-30 minutes or an hour of Northport.
Good pitch.
That leaves the Detroit Tigers as just about the only team left in Central Florida. They'll have to make the trek down I-4 to Tampa and beyond all by themselves. With their long-term situation at Lakeland, Florida.
Yeah, I can't imagine them ever moving out of Lakeland.
The 2-2 again to right. Markakis will give chase, but that one's into the seats.
Congratulations, young lady. Got your Braves jersey on tonight. And a souvenir.
Yes, of course.
Strike the pose.
Yes.
Yes. I don't blame you.
Now the pitch is bounced toward short. Dansby sliding stop, fires to second, and in time. Beautiful play. We've seen some terrific defense in this game tonight. Add Swanson's sliding stop and dart to second to that reel.
Outstanding. And a little decision making there by Camargo as to whether or not to go for it. I wonder if Dansby called him off. Sure didn't want to see him tip it away from him. Nice play, got the out.
Altair 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And just low, ball 1.
Thanks.
Oh. Odubel Herrera is the man on deck. He's hit 5 homers against the Braves this year. Don't want to see him with men aboard in a 7-2 game. 3-1.
Same place. Go right after him.
Instead, it's ball 4, and the Phillies have him loaded. So second walk of the inning. And now it is Herrera with 13 homers, 5 of them against the Braves. Chuck Hernandez mulling his options. He'll get the bullpen back to work here. And Herrera will adjust his long uniform pants. Alfonso Marquez halfway out to the mound. Brian Snitker poised at the bottom step of the Braves dugout, now marching back to his seat. So it's lefty-lefty here, Herrera versus Freeman.
Which is obviously a much better matchup, but in a 3-1 count with a 4-run lead, a 5-run lead, excuse me, that's where you just say, here, big boy, see how far you can hit it. And if he does, you still got a 2-run lead. Hate to see you walk a guy on an off-speed pitch.
3-1.
5-run lead.
And Herrera was swinging for the fences and didn't get it. You saw his splits. Lefties do not bother him at all. Hitting .301 against him.
1 for 3 with a homer off Sam.
That was mano a mano. 0-2. Hernandez at third, Hoskins at second, Altair at first. Up the middle, Ozzie darts. He'll flip to Dansby at the second base bag. A late feed, but it all worked out. Altair forced, and Freeman is out of 8th inning trouble. The Phillies load him up, can't score, 7-2 game.
Internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Time for a live look in from our Xfinity cam on this beautiful night for baseball. We'll have fireworks after the Braves and Phillies wrap up game 1 tonight. Atlanta exploded for 6 runs in their first 2 trips to the plate against Ben Lively. And Newcomb, Winkler, Minter, and Freeman have made that stand up to this point. Rios back out there for another inning, and who knows, we might see Rios versus Rio.
That's right.
Your spot is coming up third here in the 8th inning. See if Lane Adams can get in on the hitting fun. He's 0 for 3. Adams hit into a double play in the first inning. It was a miraculous turn by the Phillies. Galvis, Hernandez, and Hoskins to get the first 2 outs for Ben Lively tonight. Again, Atlanta had the first 6 hitters reach safely with a hit to start the game without an out. First time that happened since opening day in 1995 against Terry Mulholland and the San Francisco Giants. Adams drives one toward right. And Williams will have plenty of room in the corner to make the play for the first out. And here's Dansby. He's 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. Dansby's in a bit of a rut for the moment. He's 2 for his last 20. And doggone it, it's not going to be Rio Ruiz. It's going to be Matt Adams who grabs a bat and stands on deck.
Do you know what team has the worst record in baseball? And they just won 3 in a row. And yet they still have the worst record in baseball, and that's the San Francisco Giants. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
I was going to say the Phillies, but yeah, I forgot.
Giants have 60 wins. Phillies have 61. The White Sox have 61.
Well, the Giants have some big issues to try to solve too. Brian Sabian was quoted in the San Francisco newspapers as saying this is not the way we do business. They were not expecting the kind of utter disastrous year they've had. Brandon Belt has been big disappointment. They've got to find a center fielder. They said, or Sabian alluded to the article, that Hunter Pence has not been Hunter Pence. Injuries have taken their toll. And of course, you lose Madison Bumgarner for an extended stretch with a self-inflicted injury. That's going to cripple your chances. Three balls, no strikes. And to your point, Joe, earlier about the 14 division titles that the Braves put together, Giants kept winning World Series every other year. When you're winning the World Series, you're picking low in the draft. You're not drafting in the top 2 or 3. And it's been tough for the Giants to sustain that kind of success that the Braves had with all those divisional championships. And truly remarkable as Dansby walks with 1 out. And Matt Adams will come on up and get a pinch hit appearance. Another decision for the Braves. What to do with Matt Adams, who was such a great acquisition. 2 days after Freddie Freeman broke his wrist, Matt Adams came over from the Cardinals and provided an instant jolt of offense and played a very serviceable first base for the Braves.
I think John Coppola's phone will be ringing in the offseason, especially from some American League teams. Want to know about Matt's status here. To his credit, after Freddie came back and then after Freddie moved back to first base, he handled it very professionally. Said, I'll do whatever they ask me to do.
And the Braves did try to find a way to get them both in the lineup at the same time. You might remember Freddie moved over and played third base for a while before that experiment was abandoned. Cardinals tried to play Matt Adams in the outfield. That's not his best position. So the business side and the reality side of the game is caught up to Matt, at least as far as his Braves situation is concerned. We'll see how that's resolved. 1-2 count. Lifted to the left side. Crawford drifts out. Galvis joins him. It'll be Crawford and 2 outs. Tomorrow on ACC Saturdays on South, presented by Ford. Don't miss our ACC football doubleheader. 19th ranked Louisville clashes with Kent State. Then it's number 14 Miami taking on Toledo. The action kicks off at noon Eastern tomorrow on Fox Sports Southeast and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Toledo Rockets. Gotta like that. Kind of like the Akron Zips.
Ender bats with a runner aboard, 2 outs. He doubled and scored in the first. And he's got a line drive to left. He does have his 2-hit night. So 193 hits for Inciarte keeps the inning going. And Ozzie Albies, the scheduled hitter.
How many multi-hit games is that for him? 56. Kind of late. There was another amazing stat I heard the other night on D. Gordon. 40 infield hits.
Really?
D. Gordon. 40.
He's had a nice bounce back year for Miami. They've got a slugfest going in Arizona. Marlins have a weird road trip in the final week and a half. They've got to go to Arizona and Colorado before flying home to play the Braves. Marcell Ozuna hit a home run in the first inning, and it's 4-3. Miami the lead at Chase Field in Phoenix.
Cubs in Milwaukee at it again. 4-4.
Mets lead Washington in the ninth, 7-6. Boston came back to beat the Reds 5-4. Cardinals 4, Pirates 3. Top of the ninth at PNC. Here it's 7-2 Atlanta. As Ozzie behind 0-2. And that one's driven towards center, but Herrera's going to have plenty of room, and he's got it. And that retires the side. We go to the ninth inning, 7-2 Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves Baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
It's the Friday night showdown, the Phillies and Braves, presented by Kaiser Permanente. All Atlanta early and often tonight. 7-2 your score. Last chance for the Phillies. We go to the ninth, and Luke Jackson's on to try to nail it down for Sean Newcomb.
Be 2 wins in a row for Sean. A little breathing room for Luke. 2-0 on the year. He last worked against Washington, and that just concluded series. Worked 2 days ago, an inning with a hit and a strikeout, no runs or walks.
So here in the 9th inning we go. It'll be Alfaro, Crawford, and then we'll see for Pete Maccannon's Phillies, who came to town winners of 8 of 12. Braves jumped all over Ben Lively with 5 first-inning runs, and that's been enough to this point. Back to the screen. It's an even count.
Takes a healthy cut, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
He's not getting cheated.
Braves are far out of it in terms of the season series with the Phillies. We've talked a lot about how the Phillies dominated that, but Atlanta could win the SunTrust Park part of that if they win out this weekend against the Phils. Curve off the mask and helmet of Suzuki, and Alfaro almost fell down again.
Yeah, the Braves 2-8 at Philadelphia, 2-4 at home against the Phillies for a 4-12 record head to head. Braves can win tonight, they'll get to 30-36 against the division. Division against which the Braves had a winning record, oddly enough, was the West. They went 19-15 against the National League Western clubs, 12-5 at home against the Diamondbacks, Rockies, Dodgers, Padres, and Giants. Did he go? Yes, he did. Alfaro's rung up, 1 out in the 9th.
That included sweeps here against Arizona and San Diego, didn't it?
That's correct. First 4 games were against the Padres. Braves swept them and then took care of Arizona right after the All-Star break. And the Braves went on a nice run, got to 45-45, and everything was looking kind of rosy. Things haven't gone as well since that high water mark this year. As Crawford fouls one away, strike 1. Braves can win 5 more games the rest of the year. They'll avoid make sure I got that right. If the Braves win 5 more games, they'll avoid 90 losses or more in 3 straight seasons. Braves are 68-83 at the moment. The pitch upstairs for Crawford. Julio Teheran's got the ball for the Braves tomorrow night. We'll join you a half hour earlier. First pitch at 7:10. Braves live at 6:30 Eastern time. And Henderson Alvarez, the former Marlin, the former Toronto Blue Jay, will take the ball for the Phillies. They're taking a flyer on him and seeing what Henderson Alvarez can do. Shoulder problems really set him back. As Jackson issues a 1-out walk, and Young Soon Kim is going to come on and pinch hit.
Alvarez has made 1 start already, and it was not pretty. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, a couple of walks. He's made 8 starts in his career against the Braves, 1-4.
Bouncing ball, foul pass first. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a no-hitter.
Yes.
And the no-hitter was preserved. And he was in the on-deck circle. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but he saw a play at the plate unfold that ended up winning him the game. I think it was a wild pitch or something that scored, and he picked up the no-hitter watching from the on-deck circle.
Can't imagine that's happened too many times.
No. He was part of that big haul that sent Jose Reyes and Burley and company to Toronto. And sadly, injuries just wiped out It could have been a very promising career in Miami, but he's got a new chance with the Phillies. We'll see what happens here tomorrow night. Then Louis Gohara and Nick Pivetta square off on Sunday afternoon to wrap up this series. 0-2 to Kim. It's way high from Jackson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mets won tonight, beat Washington 7-6. That's a final. And Kim chased that ball and didn't get it. He struck out, and the Braves are out away from a win. One more man to get, but it's a man they haven't been able to get tonight. Cesar Hernandez has walked 3 times, doubled, and scored once. Fouled away, strike 1. Giants got a first inning run in LA. 1-0 San Francisco. Samardzija and Hill squaring off at Dodger Stadium. Crawford will take second base. No steal. And an even count. Conley and Greinke are the pitchers in Arizona for Miami and the Diamondbacks. All the talk about Giancarlo Stanton and what he does. What a job J.D. Martinez has done since putting on an Arizona uniform.
Well, I'll say.
Man, he's been unbelievable.
25 homers in 54 games with the D-backs.
Don't hear anybody talking about him.
Nope. In September, he's played 17 games. Martinez has 12 homers and 25 RBIs in September.
Talk about a secret weapon behind Goldschmidt. That's wonderful.
Well, the Braves a strike away, and this crowd of 33,702 wants to end it right here. But they'll see another pitch. Two balls, 2 strikes. So far this year at SunTrust, the Braves have drawn 2,431,763 paying customers. Little ground ball to second. Ozzy's got it. The flip to first in time, and that's a winner. Braves have beaten the Phillies tonight. 7-2 your final score. The offense early was great, and a 6-run cushion made Sean Newcomb feel very comfortable, and he pitched arguably his best game since joining the big league club tonight.
I love the way he's been aggressive, and the 5-run first inning certainly helped him ease into it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the 5 runs is nice, but credit him for going out there and making it stand. He was aggressive. He was in the zone and took advantage of the runs they gave him.
So Sean Newcomb the winner, now 4-8. Ben Lively falls to 3-7. The Braves win their 5th game this year against the Phillies. Final score: Atlanta 7, Phillies 2. 5 first inning runs thanks to 6 consecutive Braves hits to start the game. Set the tone tonight. Beautiful Friday night. Plenty of fireworks to come, and we will talk about the Atlanta win on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity, right after this timeout.